dysentery from. Anyhow, but we slept in these huts, and there would be woven mats on the floor rather than carpeting. Why, they had kind of throw rug sized mats that were made out of reeds or grass or this and that to lie down on or to cover the mud floors in their huts. Well, when you lay down on those things, out where your body warmth would bring out the fleas. And the fleas, which are just barely visible, I mean, you can't see it, but they're a very small little jumping, whatever.
Yeah.
They would find a place on your bod where it was real tight with clothing. Like we had ankle height boots, and we either had leather, or I should say, what do I want to call them? Leggings. Strapped around just to keep your pants legs closed so that the dirt and everything didn't get on the top of your shoes. Or else you had the kind of boots where it had a big leather top that came up to the mid-calf, and you laced them all the way up. Anyhow, that's where the fleas would get. They would get down in there on the top of the arch of your foot, where the shoelaces were, and that's where they would start to bite you. And it would take you 2, 3, 4 minutes to get down there.
Yeah.
Because you had to unlace the leggings and anyhow, where else would they get you? Around the pants waist, where your belt was on your hip bones real tight. That's where they would get, and they would bite you. I don't know why a flea would do that.
Yeah.
But if I wanted to take my pants off right this minute and show you my hips, I'll bet you could find flea bite scars.
Wow.
Because and some guys, they just plain had to give up and go back to the hospitals because their hips were so raw they could not wear a cartridge belt anymore. They just couldn't. It was just plain scabs and bleeding and just sores, And fleas, man, they'd get in your socks. Okay, how do you get rid of fleas? Ta-da! It took a while.
Yeah, you figured it out. Huh?
You just let the damn things bite you during the night, but when you got up in the morning, hopefully it was sun shining, and the first thing you would do in the sunlight would be to take off your socks and shoes and pants, and you turn your socks inside out, and you could see the fleas abandoning ship.
Oh.
They would leave when the sunlight got on. You would take your underwear off and everything else there, and you'd turn your dungaree pants inside out, and in the seams that ran down the legs inside, that's where the fleas would get, and they would go. So anyhow, everybody, can you imagine wouldn't the Japanese have loved to have realized that's what took the entire Marine force on Okinawa an hour before they did anything else in the morning was to turn all their clothes inside out and let the fleas, try to shake off the fleas.
Really? They could catch you with your pants down, literally.
Right, absolutely. You turn them inside, and sometimes you wore them that way, inside out. So the pockets were hard to get into. But those fleas, and what damage did they do? I never heard of anybody getting fever from them. But the irritated flea bites would kind of get into a festering little sore around your waist, on your hip bones, and on the arches of your foot.
Yeah.
So we slept on the mats. And I can still remember when you decide which hut you were going to call home for that night.
Yeah.
There are those damn mats,
Yeah.
You can't sleep on the ground, There's mats right there. So, boy, you beat those things with a stick and take them to the next hut over and try to beat all the fleas out of those mats into the next guy's hut, kind of thing. And much laughing and joking was going on. But that was a real plague